Good evening, everybody. It's just past 10:30 here. You are listening live to another podcast of Real Steel Sports on Spreaker Web Radio with your host, James Trisnerick. Glad you tuned in for tonight. Tonight I got a full lineup of sports, from tennis to football to hockey to just about everything under the sun. Probably taking all 30 minutes for the first time in a long time, and I hope you stick around and enjoy it. Starting off with some polls here on Sports Nation. First off, let's get straight to the point. I love doing the Sports Nation polls. They give me a chance to talk in depth about sports, while at the same time not making me require that I have to know every single detail. Which works for me because sometimes, not all of us are as good with all the details. Let's start out with poll number 1. Does Major League Baseball need a salary cap? Let's put it this way. Do I see it happening considering how much money that the Red Sox and that the Cardinals, the Yankees, the Mets, the Braves, and all the Tigers, the Red Sox, all those teams throw out there? Do I see it happening? No. But does it need to be done? Yes. 70% of the nation agrees that baseball needs a salary cap. Now, Jared Allen, defensive end free agent, just signed with the Chicago Bears today for $4 years, $32 million. Where does he rank among the best active defensive ends? Is he a top tier, middle tier, or bottom tier? He's a top tier guy. Oh yeah. He can still rush the passer. He can still hit the quarterback. He's still got plenty of juice left. I gotta say top tier. 50% of the nation says top tier, 47% says middle tier, and 3% says bottom tier. And I have to say that Minneapolis and Kansas City would probably be the places where they suggested bottom tier. The next poll we have is, which team won the NFC North? Let's put it this. Let's see. Jared Allen goes and signs with the Bears, and a couple other big signings in the NFC North this offseason. Which team will win it? Let's put it this way. If Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt last year, the Packers would have won it by 5 or 6 games. Definitely Green Bay. 51% of the nation says Green Bay, 29% says the Bears, 15% says the Lions, and 5% says the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is a sore spot with me because being a tennis player and getting a chance to fist pump or do a jump after you win a really long, exhausting, incredible rally is awesome. And not having to have any restrictions on that's a lot of fun. But what do I make of the NFL's plan to penalize players for dunking the football over the goalpost? It is such a stupid rule to create. It is so, pardon my language, but it's so fucking stupid. And here's why. The players want to play and they want to have fun when they're on the field. You score a touchdown and you're 6'8" and you're a former basketball player like a Jimmy Graham or a Tony Gonzalez and you want to dunk that shit. I say dunk that shit, I'd love to be able to get a chance to dunk the football. I mean, I can't even jump and reach the goalpost and there are guys that can dunk over it. Jesus. But anyways, I say it's a stupid idea to ban it. 16% of this nation says it's a good move. 84% says it's a bad move. And I agree 110%. Now, what should the Eagles do with Deshaun Jackson? Well, let's put it this way. Deshaun Jackson, more or less, is due to $10.5 million this year. What should they do? Keep him or release him / trade him? Let me tell you something. Deshaun Jackson's a good receiver. Let's not forget what he did last year in the first year with Chip Kelly's offense. He had a really, really good season. Ultimately, he finished with a career high in receiving yards, a career high in receptions, and a career high tie in receiving touchdowns. 16.2 yards per catch and 83 yards a game receiving. He proved he can still play by reaching his 3rd Pro Bowl. Let me tell you something about this guy. He's talented. He could fetch a really good draft pick if given the chance. Be perfectly honest. He's got all the potential still left in the world. I definitely think that a team like a New England, a team like an Oakland, definitely deserves should take a good look at him. San Francisco, or in any case, you know what would be a really interesting team to see him go to? The Miami Dolphins. Because think about it. You'll have him alongside Mike Wallace. You talk about a way to open up a defense. My gosh, you put those two together. 48% of the nation says keep him. 52% of the nation says release him or trade him. Next poll up. What do I think of South Florida rescinding its offer to Manhattan coach Steve Masiello after it was discovered he lied about graduating from Kentucky? Let me tell you something. If I'm interviewing a guy for a head coaching position and I'm in a major school, well, even though South Florida, it's somewhat of a major school, and the guy's lying to me about if he graduated college or not, that's nothing compared to what else he could lie about. This is definitely the right decision. 77% says yes, 23% says no. Now, if I was a Dolphins fan, would I want Mike Pouncey back on my team after, being alleged to be a part of the bullying scandal with Jonathan Martin, Eugene Cognito, and John Jerry? Let me tell you something. If I learned a guy on my team was talking the kind of shit he was being the kind of asshole he was, I wouldn't want him anywhere near my team. I want a productive team with guys that are willing to put their egos aside and be men, not little boys and little bullies. I would say no. 59% say yes, 41% says no. Now, Marquise apologized for the dumbass. They both wore the dumbass Free Hernandez signs in the summer. But Marquise apologized for him doing it. Mike Pouncey did not. Next poll up. Which team, as we shift to basketball, will win the Eastern Conference, the Heat or the Pacers? Let's put it this way. The Pacers, if they get home court, have a huge edge because they're 32-4 at home on the year. And right now, in the fourth quarter with 3:23 left, the Heat currently lead the Pacers 79-76. Current statistics for this game, actually it's now up to 80-77 with just under 2.5 left. LeBron James in this game has 38 points. Wade has 15. George has 23 and Hibbert has 21. Honest opinion right now, I think the Miami Heat would take it. And the reason why is because I don't think the Pacers can score enough points. Let's put it this way. Miami's going to score points, and they're going to stop people. Indiana can stop people better than Miami, but they can't score as good. And let's put it this way. Miami's defense is good enough to hold them down to the point where, yeah, we're going to get a lot of points on the board. Let's put it this way. If it's 4 out of 7 in Indiana, I still got to go with the Heat just because of that experience. 57% of the nation, however, agrees with the Pacers. 43 says the Heat. Member of the Miami Heat, Chris Bosh, has stated that he and LeBron James will be back next season. Will they? Will be yes, both of them. Bosh will, James won't. James will, Bosh won't, or just no in general. They're both coming back. They've won 2 straight championships, could potentially be a third. You think they're going to go somewhere else where they could potentially not win a title? I mean, come on. There's not too many other appeasing places to go in the NBA unless you wanted to go to LA, and that's a train wreck right there. Or if you want to go to Cleveland if you're LeBron. And let's put it this way. Cleveland, I'd never ever want to play for a Cleveland team. I'm sorry. Definitely would go with yes, both of them are going to be back. And 47% of the nation agrees they will both be back. Which Eastern Conference championship will the Eastern Conference champ win the NBA title? Yes if it's only the Heat, yes if it's only the Pacers, or no. Honestly, no. And the reason why 36% of the nation, which is the leading vote, gets it, because Oklahoma City, I think, could beat the Heat and the Pacers in best 4-7. I think the Spurs definitely could if given a rematch with the Heat. And I'd have to even say that the Rockets have a really good chance. They've blown out Indiana, and they've beaten Miami this year. So yes, I'd give the Western Conference an edge. Am I in favor of the members of Northwest University football attempting to unionize football? I don't know as much about all that kind of crap. I didn't really vote. I just selected no just for the shits and giggles. But No, 55% of the nation says they're not in favor. And I don't know where to come but from that. But, I do want to say this, and this relates to the whole college athletes making money. Let's put it this way. If you're selling your jerseys, then I think that 50% of that should be entitled to go to this university, and 50% should go straight to you. If you have a jersey, if your jersey is on the market for $30 in any sport, football, basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever, and it sells maybe $50, you should make 25 of it. Because your name. Would the jersey sell if it didn't have your name on it? No. And the universities know that. The universities are ripping off the college players. That leads to the next one. Should college athletes be paid? By boosters? No. By merchandise sales? Yes. 58% of the nation says no, 42% says yes. What do I make of Clemson fans running the court after beating Belmont in the NIT? I'm not okay with that. I mean, Belmont was a better team, I could see that, but wasn't Clemson like the second or top seed in the NIT? That's still nothing to brag about. No. 56% says no for a good reason. Muffin button. Sorry. Which team will win the National League? Braves, Cardinals, Dodgers, Nationals, another team. I'm going with the Cardinals. Again. Won it last year. Deep rotation. I mean, they're right now still the best team in the NL. Which team, let's see. Which team will win the World Series? Cardinals, Dodgers, Red Sox, Tigers, or another team? 46% of the nation says another team. I don't know what team everyone's thinking of. Maybe the Braves. I don't know. I would have to. My guess is that I think the Tigers got a good chance. Verlander's gonna be back healthy. They got Scherzer will be back this year. They've got Prince Fielder, who for more or less was kind of becoming dead weight in the roster. He wasn't doing anything in the playoffs, and they still got MVP Miggy Cabrera. They got as good a shot as any. Let's see. Kobe says that Shaq was lazy during the years when they were at the Lakers. What do I say about this? Man, Kobe's always been jealous of Shaq because Shaq is charismatic, Shaq is fun-loving, people love him, where people never really gravitated to Kobe, and I think Kobe's had to say a lot of the stuff about Shaq in order to get some publicity. So I'd say it's sour grapes. And 62% of the nation says sour grapes versus 38% for fair criticism. All right, which team will win the West Regional? Of the four left, Arizona, Wisconsin, San Diego State, or Baylor. I said Arizona, and I'm sticking with that. What about the East Regional? Virginia, Iowa State, Michigan State, or Connecticut? Michigan State gets 62% of the polls here. Arizona won the previous one. 52% say Arizona. 62% says Michigan State, which is reason why, because they're the best team, more physical, more offense, more defense. Well, not more offense than Iowa State, but still more defense. Midwest Regional. Michigan, Louisville, Kentucky, Tennessee. Louisville. Right now. Easily. Russ Smith. That whole team is just loaded, and they're on fire. They're a team on a mission right now to get back to the Final Four and defend their title. All right, now, which team won the NCAA tournament? Florida, Arizona, Michigan State, or Louisville? I'm still going with Michigan State. I think they can upset Florida. I think they've got the offense and the defense to do it. And the final poll for today. Let's see, NFL playoff expansions. Should the NFL add 2 more wildcard teams to its playoff systems? Let me think about that. I say they should, and here's my reasoning why. Because that would make the race for the number 1 seed in the playoffs more interesting. Think about it. teams that would have a chance to potentially get the number 1 seed in Week 17 would play harder, and we'd get more interesting games because we already get division games on the Sunday prior to play.